Guys, it is confirmed. Hasim Rahman Jr. versus Jake Paul, or Ake Paul as I like to call him, has been called off. My quick thoughts and reaction. I think this was not something any of us was expecting. Hasim said he was going to lose the weight, and you guys know the story. Here's MVP's basically explained the situation, and Hasim essentially was not able to make the 200-pound limit because he had only lost 1 pound, and the commission was worried that he was going to lose the weight in an unhealthy way. So the commission wanted to bring it up to 205. Jake was okay with that. Hasim basically said, no, I want to fight at 215. If not, the fight's off. Now, here's the thing. Jake could have just fought at 215, and he actually would have then been fighting kind of sort of a heavyweight, as opposed to making Hasim come down in weight. Hasim was dealt a bad hand by, having a take it or leave it deal, where he was getting not nearly as much money nor respect from a contractual standpoint, and he had, less than 2 months to lose a lot of this weight, and he said that he was losing the weight very well, so I'm surprised that, he pulled out of the fight so suddenly, but I think that this is a failure on Jake's part and Hasim's part. I think for Jake, he should have either rescheduled the card until September, or he should have fought somebody different. I think that the rehydration clause and all of this stuff was just not fair to Hasim, though there is the argument that Hasim should have been losing this weight all along, and I do agree with that. However, he clearly had a strategy in mind, and he didn't like that he was not able to weigh in at 215, and I think before he had to weigh in at 200, but then he could, I think, end up at around 215, maybe. That's kind of what I think is what the original contract was like, but now he has to weigh in at 205, which means he might not be able to have so much leeway after that. So I think that, this was a fight done, very quickly without really thinking of all of the optics, because Jake was trying to save the card. I think Hasim and Jake should still fight. I think that fight is still viable. And I don't think Hasim was scared to fight Jake at all. I think he was willing to fight Jake. He just wanted to fight at 215. You know what I mean? It was different from Tommy, where Tommy had an injury and he just couldn't fight. Where Hasim is ready to fight. He could fight Jake on August 6th. He just wants to wait at 215. And hopefully we can see this fight again where Hasim has more time to lose the weight properly. And to be quite honest with you, Jake was not going to win this fight most likely. And people were saying, oh, Jake ducked, Hasim didn't take a dive. Again, I don't think any of Jake Paul's fights have been dives. I just think that they're bad boxers in general. Though, he could still fight Tommy Fury in the UK on KSI's undercard. Tommy and him are both training, but he's not going to do that. I don't know who he's going to fight next. I wonder, is this just some strategy? If Jake fights, I just feel like, is Jake maybe thinking, you know what, screw Hasim, let me just wait for KSI, and then let him have fights? I really don't know what's going to happen next. It's really kind of an unknown territory. The only fight that's going to happen is KSI and Alex. And it's injuries and, but this is kind of, I guess, what makes boxing not the best sport. And I do feel bad for Jake. I do feel bad for the card. I think there were errors on Jake's side in terms of they foolishly took on this fight. And they also kind of went fair to Hasim. And on Hasim's side, I think he could have done a better job at losing the weight and being more clear with the commission, or just not taking the fight. But of course, if you don't take the fight, Jake's able to say, you're scared and you ran away from me. But I don't think Hasim is running away, and I don't think he's scared. And I don't think that Jake necessarily is, pulled out of this fight because, he knew he was going to lose, or Hasim wasn't going to take a dive, or, he wasn't willing to go up to the weight. And, for Jake to go to 215, or to have someone fighting at 215, it's, Jake's going to be, 15, 10, almost 20 pounds, lighter than Hasim, so that would be a pretty significant weight difference. But hey, that's boxing sometimes, right? Jake said anytime, any place, anywhere, and that seems to not be the case, because he's not going to fight Hasim. And I think it is unfair to Jake, but Jake now knows how his opponents feel. And again, you can still fight a real professional boxer in Tommy TNT Fury on KSI's undercard. I know he's not going to take a co-main event. He's not going to do that. Showtime, they can't do that, right? But he could, if he really wanted to. He could still fight a real boxer in the next month. But it is extremely disappointing. But at the same time, I think this event, people said that the pay-per-view sales weren't great, the seating wasn't great. So ultimately, we're left in the state of, wow, I just don't know what to think. But I think that, I think there's error on both sides. And that's just my final thoughts. So that's the video. Like, sub, and comment. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.